we are studying political science now, and 2 sessions ago, we started this chapter, which is chapter number 2, electoral process. In this chapter, we have already studied about why elections are necessary, uh, how democracy works. We have already also studied about the how there is a group of people called election commission. They conduct the elections in the country. In the last session, we studied about the process of the election, the 8 steps of conducting an election, and we understood that all the 8 steps are carried out, are the responsibility of the election commission. Today, we will try to understand what the main functions of the election commission are. Of course, all the work that goes into the election is the responsibility of election commission, but within that, what are the main functions and what are the peculiarities or the main points for those main functions? That is the objective for the session. So today in this session, we will try to understand what all the election commission does, and we will try to look at it from election commission's point of view and understand. Also, we will keep correlating it with the process of the elections. Let us start. I'm also learning as a teacher, and I saw how Abhishek sir gives you short forms, mnemonics. They are called mnemonics. So I've tried to summarize. As I told you, there are your textbook doesn't list 8 functions of the election commission. It lists only 5. So I've tried to make a mnemonic out of them. Let us look at the functions of the election commission at a high level as a summary, and then we will look at each of these points in detail. The first point is preparation of the voters list. Election commission prepares the voters list. V for voter. Election commission decides the timetable and the program of the election. कब होगा, कहाँ होगा, कैसे होगा, कौन करेगा. That is the timetable. T. Election commission scrutinizes the applications of the candidates. कि उन्होंने सही इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है कि नहीं, जो वो कह रहे हैं वो हैं कि नहीं. A for application. Election commission recognizes political parties. It is the power of the election commission only who will say, yes, you can be a party, you are a party, or no, I don't recognize you as a party. We will understand what recognition means, how it helps or how it doesn't help later. And of course, connected to the last step of the election process, if there are any disputes related to the elections, the election commission resolves them. R for resolve. So V for voters list, T for timetable, A for application, R for recognition, and R for resolve. If you want, you can also remember this as avatar. The first main function of election commission is to prepare the voters list. Voters list is just the list of all the voters of that area. So who is eligible to vote in our country? All the citizens of the country are eligible to vote if they have completed 18 years, not younger than 18. Earlier, much before, it was 21, but then it was reduced to 18 so that more and more people can vote, more and more people can participate in the government. 18, but not younger than 18, because maybe more people who are younger than 18, they may not be able to make the correct choice. That is the idea. But just being a citizen is not enough. Just being a citizen of 18 years of age is not enough. our name should be there on the voters list. If you see in the picture, if you want to vote, we go to the polling booth where we can cast our vote, and we have to show our ID card. This is the voter ID card. And then someone there, the presiding officer, the election officer, he or she will see if our name is there in the list or not. If our name is there on the list, we will be allowed to vote. So understand this clearly. We become citizens of the country just by being born in the country. That's done. We are Indians. We become 18 years of age just by being alive for 18 years. Enough. But just by being born in the country and just by living here, living on this planet for 18 years, we do not automatically can vote. Our name must be there on the voters list. This is done so that bogus people, those who are not really the citizens, those who are not actually of 18 years, they cannot vote. So this is a security feature that only those who are allowed should be able to vote. And if this is the case, someone has to ensure that the list exists, the voters list, and that work is done by the Election Commission. So Election Commission doesn't go to door to find out who is 18 years of age. No, it is our responsibility as citizens to register ourselves as voters. When we register, we get a voter ID card. When we register, we tell who we are, when we were born, where do we live. Based on that, our name appears on the right voters list. Sometimes we move from one place to another place. So when that happens, it is once again our responsibility to update our information in the voters list. We have to give an application that now I have moved to, say from Jaunpur, I have moved to Mumbai. When we do that, when we give the proof that yes, now I live in Mumbai, then our name will be added to the voters list of this place. So this is a continuous process. Preparing of the voter list is a continuous process. It is not a one-time process. Why? Because every day new people are born. Every day new people are attaining the age of 18. Every day people are moving. Some people are coming to the city. Some people are going away from the city. Some people are coming to the village. Some people are going away from the village. So the voter list is a living document. And it is our responsibility as citizens to ensure that we are registered. Election Commission issues a voter ID card that yes, you have registered, you can vote. While it is our responsibility to register, Election Commission helps us to register by creating awareness. We even celebrate the National Voters Day. There are campaigns done at various places where they would say, okay, for this 1 week or 1 month, we are opening this temporary office near your house. Come and register yourself as voters. That also is done. So they make it easy for us to register as voters, but at the end of the day, it is our responsibility to get registered. The next function of the Election Commission, and once again, I've used the words directly from the textbook. It is decide timetable and program of elections. Timetable and program of elections. So when we simplify it, it has two parts. One is when, कि कब होगा, and second one is how many stages. How many stages? Now, दिमाग में घंटी बजनी चाहिए. तो क्या एक साथ नहीं होता? नहीं होता है. कर नहीं सकते. Because we are a big country. Our population is huge. The number of people who are eligible to vote is huge. एक साथ पूरे देश में या एक साथ पूरे स्टेट में भी इलेक्शन कराना इम्पॉसिबल हो जाता है. So it is conducted in many stages, or the election commission calls it phases. Phase 1 election, phase 2 election, phase 3 elections, like that. Even recently, when they conducted elections in West Bengal, I think it happened in 6 or 8 phases, not one. Maharashtra also is a big state. We cannot conduct elections in the entire state of Maharashtra in just one phase. But if it is a election for the DNC, then it can happen in one day. So this is the decision taken by election commission कि कितने stages में होगा. वो सोच के करते हैं क्या करना चाहिए, कैसे करना चाहिए, कितने resources हैं, कैसे सही होगा, गलत होगा, वो सोच के करते हैं. There is a more technical aspect, that is when कि election होना कब. And when the elections need to be conducted, it is not at the whims and fancies of people, whims and fancies of the election commission or the government. There are certain rules. Every government has a term. Term means the time for which the government is elected. For example, the central government and the state governments, they are elected for a period of 5 years. The Lok Sabha, the members of the Lok Sabha, they are elected for 5 years. The members of the Vidhan Sabha, that is in English, it's called Legislative Assembly. LS is Lok Sabha, VS is Vidhan Sabha, LA is Legislative Assembly. These places, the members to these places, they are elected for 5 years. तो इलेक्शन कब होगा? जब वो 5 साल खत्म होगा. At the end of the term of the government. And those elections are called general elections. General because that is the normal process. But democracy is never normal. Democracy is not easy. Democracy is good. Democracy is necessary. And democracy is difficult. Sometimes what happens, even before the term of the government comes to an end, the government falls. Remember what you have studied or what you should have studied earlier. A government is formed by the elected representatives. The party that has the majority or has the majority support of the elected representatives, it makes the government. That party, that government runs the country. It is possible that the government does something that people don't like. The party does something that the people don't like. If that happens, then other people will say, other elected representatives will say, no, I no longer support you. That means the group of people who were the majority, they are no longer a majority. उनका नंबर कम हो गया, और नंबर कम हो गया तो गवर्नमेंट गिर जाती है. When the government falls, the president asks the elected representatives to see if another government can be formed, and the president also understands what the situation is. Sometimes it is just impossible to make another government from the same set of elected representatives. When that happens, even before the term of the government has ended, we are forced to conduct another election. And those elections are called mid-term elections. Third situation. An elected representative, whether that person is a MLA or a MP, may resign for some reason, health or any other personal reason. Resign means त्याग पत्र देना, इस्तीफा देना, अपना position छोड़ देना. Also, all these representatives are human beings, so they are not going to be on this planet Earth forever. So there may be death of the representatives. Now these representatives represent particular constituencies, group of people that they are representing. So if a representative resigns or dies, the people of that constituency no longer have a representative. That is unfair. That is not how the democracy works. In democracy, everyone has representation. So, once again, we are forced to conduct elections, but not for all the seats, for that particular constituency. And such elections are called by-elections. So what we need to understand from this is, yes, the election commission decides when to conduct the election and how many stages. Yes, correct. But it's not completely its decision. Certain things are controlled by the rules and regulations. We want our elections to be free and fair. This is one of the requirements of functioning democracy, effective democracy. If the government decides, government is in the power, and if the government decide when, how many stages and all, then they will be able to influence. And they will influence the election in such a way that they will win again. We don't want that. And that is why an independent autonomous body like the Election Commission of India decides when and in how many stages election should be held in a particular state. The answer is free and fair election. We need free and fair elections. Another question.